ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ।
ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ। ਆਦ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਡੰਡਾਉਤ ਬੰਧਨ ਅਨਕ ਬਾਰ ਸਰਬ ਕਲਾ ਸਮਰੱਥ ਡੋਲਣ ਤੇ ਰੱਖੋ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਕਰ ਹੱਥ। ਡੋਲਣ ਤੇ ਰੱਖੋ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਕਰ ਹੱਥ। ਤੇਰੇ ਕਵਨ ਕਵਨ ਗੁਣ ਕਹਿ ਕਹਿ ਗਾਵਾਂ ਤੂੰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਗੁਣੀ ਨਿਧਾਨਾ। ਤੁਮਰੀ ਮਹਿਮਾ ਬਰ ਨਾ ਸਕੋ ਤੂੰ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਊਚ ਭਗਵਾਨਾ। ਤੁਮਰੀ ਮਹਿਮਾ ਬਰ ਨਾ ਸਕੋ ਤੂੰ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਊਚ ਭਗਵਾਨਾ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਗਰੀਬ ਨਵਾਜ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਤਖਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਲਿਕ ਰਾਜਾਨ ਰਾਜ ਪਾਨਾਨ ਭਾਨ ਦੇਵਾਨ ਦੇਵ ਉਪਮਾ ਮਹਾਨ ਗਰੀਬ ਨਵਾਜ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ। We all privileged to be sitting in the laps of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Padshah, that Guru which is Rajan Raj, the King of Kings, Panan, Panan means sun. That Guru Granth Sahib Ji Padshah that is even the light of the sun. Panan, Pan, Devan, Dev. Dev comes from the word Dibya, Dibya meaning light, light of wisdom. Our Guru is the source of wisdom. Upama Mahan, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Padshah Ji cannot be compared to anybody else. Upama Mahan, Tan Tan Guru Granth Sahib Ji Padshah Ji has blessed us to be sitting in their charan. So let us first all come together and say that blessed Fateh, that greeting given to us by Kalgitar Sache Padshah Dhan Guru Gobind Singh Ji Padshah. So आओ पहला ਆਪਾਂ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਗੱਜ ਵੱਜ ਕੇ ਬੁਲਾਈਏ ਫਤਿਹ। ਆਖੋ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਬਚਨ जिनी ऐसा हर नाम ना चेत्यो से काहे जग आए राम राजे। Guru Sahib Ji saying to us that जिनी ऐसा हर नाम ना चेत्यो, those that do not remember such a name that belongs to Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji। जिनी ऐसा हर नाम ना चेत्यो से काहे जग आए राम राजे। Guru Sahib Ji then ask us a question. They said, if you don't remember the name of Vaheguru Ji of God, they said, then why have you even bothered coming upon this earth? Guru Sahib Ji saying, say, kahe jag aaye. Then said, why have you come upon this earth? Say, kahe jag aaye Ram Raje. Eho manas janam dulamb hai, na bina birtha sab jaye. Eho manas janam Guru Sahib Ji saying, eho manas janam dulamb hai, Manas meaning this human form of life that is given to us. Eho manas janam dulamb hai. Dulamb, the word dulamb means difficult, something that is difficult to obtain. Maharaj is saying it's very difficult to obtain this form of life. And sometimes Guru Sikh Pyaro, we take it for granted. We don't realize how great it actually is. Pacha da kende eho manas janam dulamb hai. And then naam bina birtha sab jaye. But Sache Pacha is saying naam bina. He said, but without connecting to God, without reciting God's name, without calling to God, and then naam bina birtha sab jaye. They said this whole life, Pacha is saying, has then gone to waste. This whole life, Pacha is saying, has gone to waste then. Pacha कहते जो सुख को चाहे सदा शरण राम की ले. नौवें पातशाह जी श्लोक गुरु तेग बहादुर जी सच्चे पातशाह. And everybody, कौन नहीं चाहता सुख नू? Who doesn't want sukh? Who doesn't want happiness? सारे सुख नू भालदे ने गुरसिख प्यारिओ. कोई नहीं चाहता कि साडे जीवन अंदर दुख आवे. Nobody wants unhappiness. Nobody wants sorrow. Nobody wants pain to come in their life. And that's why Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha Ji said, Jo sukh ko chahe sada. They said, if somebody wants happiness forever, chahe sada saran Ram ki le. Then they said, come into the sanctuary of Ram, of Waheguru Ji, of Akal Purkh. And I say all the time, for us, whose sanctuary do we come into? If Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha is saying this to Waheguru Ji, to Akal Purkh, then Guru Sikh Pyareo, then we say this to our Guru. That, oh Sache Pacha Ji, if I come into your sanctuary, oh Guru Sahib Ji, if I come into your sanctuary, then I will be happy forever. Jo sukh ko chahe sada saran Ram ki le. Kaho Nanak sunre mana durlab manukh de. Again Sache Pacha Ji used that word durlab. Durlab, Pacha Ji saying, this life is so difficult to obtain. Durlab manukh de, this body, it doesn't come by very easy, Gursikh Pyareo. Sometimes we don't realize this though. Pacha is saying that sometimes this is our life passes. Sir kampyo, pag dagmage, nan jot te heen sir kampyo. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha is saying that some people even reach that state. They reach that state, that sir kampyo, that their head is shaking. Sir kampyo, pag dagmage, pag meaning feet, dagmage meaning they can't even walk straight anymore. Kende sir kampyo, pag dagmage, nan jot te heen. They said that light that they had in their eyes, even that's now gone dim as well. Meaning ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਰੋਸ਼ਨੀ ਵੀ ਘਟ ਗਈ ਆ. ਭਾਵ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਕਹਿ ਕੀ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਕੰਪਿਓ. People's head, they reach that state, that umar, that age in their life that their head is shaking now. ਸਿਰ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੰਬਦਾ ਪਿਆ ਆ. ਪੱਗ ਡਗ ਮਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪੈਰ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਰਦੇ ਪਏ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ. ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਕਹਿਣਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਨੈਣ ਜੋਤ ਤੇ ਹੀਨ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਰੋਸ਼ਨੀ ਵੀ ਘਟ ਗਈ ਆ. ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਇਹ ਬਿਦ ਪਈ ਤੋ ਨਾ ਹਰ ਰਸ ਲੀਨ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹ ਤੇਰੀ ਹਾਲਤ ਹੋ ਗਈ, you've reached this state. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਇਹ ਬਿਦ means this state. ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਇਹ ਬਿਦ ਪਈ ਤੋ ਨਾ ਹਰ ਰਸ ਲੀਨ. You still haven't experienced that love of God yet. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੱਲੇ ਤੱਕ ਫੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੂੰ. ਫਿਰ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤਰਨਾਪੋ ਇਹੋ ਹੀ ਗਿਓ. ਤਰਨਾਪੋ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ. Again Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha Ji sloka. This is the third slok of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji saying ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤਰਨਾਪੋ ਇਹੋ ਹੀ ਗਿਓ ਲਿਓ ਜਰਾ ਤਨ ਜੀਤ. ਤਰਨਾਪੋ means youth. When we're young, when we've got that strength in our body. Because ਆਮ ਕਰਕੇ people say this, don't they? They say don't worry, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾਮ ਜਪੂਗੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਜਪੂਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਵਿਹਲੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੰਮਾਂ ਕਾਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ. ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਲ ਲਿਆ, when we've taken care of our children, when we're about 50, when we're about 60, we'll think about it then. People say this as well. But Pacha is saying, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤਰਨਾਪੋ ਇਹੋ ਹੀ ਗਿਓ ਲਿਓ ਜਰਾ ਤਨਜੀਤ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ your youth has passed just like this. ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤਰਨਾਪੋ. ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹੋ ਹੀ ਗਿਓ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਲੰਘ ਗਏ, ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਵਾਨੀ ਕਿੱਧਰ ਗਈ. ਕਹੀਦਾ ਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵਿੱਚ. ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਵੀ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹੋ ਹੀ ਗਿਓ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I didn't realize when my childhood just went by. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤਰਨਾਪੋ ਇਹੋ ਹੀ ਗਿਓ ਲਿਓ ਜਰਾ ਤਨਜੀਤ. ਜਰਾ means old age. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ now old age is winning over my body. And ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ saying, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ then why have you come into this world if you haven't meditated upon God's name? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਤੇਰਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਣ ਦਾ? ਹੁਣ ਵੱਤੇ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਨਾ ਬੀਜਿਓ. ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁਣ ਵੱਤੇ means season. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁਣ ਵੱਤੇ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਨਾ ਬੀਜਿਓ. But this says if you don't then plant that seed in this season, what season is Patrick ji talking about? Hun vatte har naam na bijyo. Vatte, that season of this human form of life. This season of having this life. Hun vatte har naam na bijyo. If you don't plant the seed of naam within your heart, the crop of your heart, if you don't plant that seed now, hun vatte har naam na bijyo. Agge bhukha kya khaye. Then Patrick ji saying, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਭੁੱਖਾ ਕਿਆ ਖਾਏ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ then what will you have to eat later on? ਅੱਗੇ ਭੁੱਖਾ ਕਿਆ ਖਾਏ. What does Patrick ji mean by this? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ when you fall hungry later on, then what are you going to eat then? Patrick ji is talking about when we leave this world. When we leave this world, and Gursikh Pyareo, often when we think about that moment of death, Gursikh Pyareo, we think it's so far. ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਜ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਦੂਰ ਆ. We think that no, it's never going to come to us. Pata nahi halle apne te itni aun lagi. Whenever we think of death, we think of the next door neighbor is going to leave. Apna nahi banda sochda. Par Gursikh Pyareo, let us never forget that hum aadmi haan ekdami mohalat maut na jana. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah ne kya signa Bhai Bala ji nu ta Bhai Mardana ji nu. Kende se kende Pyareo Gursikho, kende Bhai Bala ji, ਭਾਈ ਮਰਦਾਨਾ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੁਣੋ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਮ ਆਦਮੀ ਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਦਮੀ ਮਹੌਲਤ ਮੌਤ ਨਾ ਜਾਣਾ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੀ ਪਤਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮਹੌਲਤ ਮੌਤ ਨਾ ਜਾਣਾ. ਮਹੌਲਤ ਮੀਨਸ that time. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ that time that when ਜਦੋਂ ਸਮਾਂ ਆਉਣਾ ਨਾ ਮੌਤ ਦਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੀ ਪਤਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ we don't know when that time is going to come. ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਬਚਨ ਕਹੇ ਨਾ, ਕਿਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਿਵ ਮਰਹੇਂਗੇ कैसा मरना होए. कहते क्या जाना किव मरेंगे. गुरु अमरदास जी पातशाह जी कहणगे, कहते की पता, कहते किहो जी मौत आनी. गुरु अमरदास जी पातशाह जी कहते God knows, we don't know what type of death is going to come to us. कहते क्या जाना किव how मरेंगे कैसा मरना होए. We don't know what that time is going to be like when it comes to us. ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ ਪਤਾ. We don't know. Somebody might think, well, I know I've got a certain problem, I've got a certain disease, I know because I'm going to die due to this disease. But Gursikh Pyareo, we don't know about any moment we can walk out the house, we can have an accident, and that can be the cause of our death. Guru Amardas ji se ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਿ ਮਰਹੇਂਗੇ ਕੈਸਾ ਮਰਨਾ ਹੋਏ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਤਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ but I know one thing for sure, ਜੇਕਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਮਨ ਹੋਣਾ ਵੀਸਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਹਿਲਾ ਮਰਨਾ ਹੋਏ. ਜੇਕਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਮਨ ਹੋਣਾ ਵੀਸਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਹਿਲਾ ਮਰਨਾ ਹੋਏ. ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I know one thing for sure, it doesn't matter about how death comes, it doesn't matter about when death comes. This is but jekar sahib man hona visre, but if I haven't forgotten God out of my heart, within my mind, if I have not forgot about God, then my dying will become easy. Sehla ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਮਰਨਾ ਫਿਰ ਸੌਖਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਊਗਾ. ਸਹਿਲਾ ਮਰਨਾ ਹੋਏ. ਪਰ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, ਇਹਦਾ ਇਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਆ ਕਿ that we're going to die peacefully. We're going to be sleeping at night and our eyes are going to remain closed. We're going to have a very peaceful death. We're not going to die in pain. Is that what Guru Amardas Ji Paatshah Ji is saying to us here? That if we don't forget God from our mind, then dying will become easy for us. Gursikh Pyareo, Bhai Mati Das Ji, not even for one moment did they forget Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paatshah Ji out of their mind. If you think about it, was their dying easy? If you look at it on a worldly level, on a worldly term, if you look at it from outside, inno sokha kinne apa marana. Bhai Mani Singh hona de Gursikh Pyareo, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੰਦ ਕੱਟੇ ਗਏ. ਜੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਮੁਖੀ ਦੇਖੀਏ, if you look at this from an outside, do we class that as an easy death? But Guru Amardas Ji Paatshah saying, ਜੇਕਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਮਨ ਹੋ ਨਾ ਵੀਸਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਹਿਲਾ ਮਰਨਾ ਹੋਏ. But Guru Amardas Ji Paatshah saying that if you don't forget Waheguru Ji from your heart, then dying will become easy. But then if we look at these examples before us, if you look at Bhai Taru Singh, ਪਰ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਤਾਰੂ ਸਿੰਘ ਵੱਲ ਵੇਖੀਏ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਖੋਪੜੀ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਲਹਾਈ ਗਈ. They were scalped alive. They remained alive 22 days after that as well. Imagine what that time must have been, that 22 days like. We're just looking at this from the outside for a moment. Because ਆਪਣੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, because in our mind we might think that by taking this path, walking towards the Guru, what sukh did they have? What happiness did they have if they had to die and leave in that way? But there's another bachan by Guru Sache Paatshah Ji. They're saying, Sat Guru hoye dayal ta dukh na janiye. ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ Satguru ਹੋਏ ਦਿਆਲ. How do we know that our Guru is happy with us? That we've completely got the full happiness of our Guru right next to us, beside us. Satguru ਹੋਏ ਦਿਆਲ ਤਾਂ ਦੁੱਖ ਨਾ ਜਾਣੀਏ, ਤਾਂ ਦੁੱਖ ਨਾ ਜਾਣੀਏ. Then we won't register that pain. It's not that physical pain. It's not that pain that people in the world think won't come to us. That still might come, Gursikh Pyaro. We still might get ill. This body still might fall ill. Problems still might occur in our lives. People still might lose their jobs. All these things in life still might happen. But Gursikh Pyaro, if you connect to your Guru, if you give yourself to your Guru, then the Guru will give you strength to be able to endure that pain. Satguru hoye dayal tan dukh na jani, you won't even register that pain. Because Bhai Mardana ji, Gursikh Pyareo, people might think they were in pain, but they were still connected to Akal Purkh Waheguru ji. Aukhi ਘੜੀ ਨਾ ਦੇਖਣ ਦੇਈ, ਆਪਣਾ ਬਿਰਦ ਸੰਭਾਲੇ, ਹੱਥ ਦੇ ਰਾਖੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋ, ਸਾਸ ਸਾਸ ਪ੍ਰਿਤ ਪਾਲੇ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਹੱਥ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ. Guru Tegh, they had, Bhai Mardana ji had the hand of Guru Tegh Bahadur ji Paatshah ji looking after them all the time. What was it that they had? Aukhi kadi na dekhan dei. On the outside it looked as if Bhai Mardana ji is in pain, but aukhi kadi na dekhan dei. If we say this as it's spelled, without the bindi, Gursikh Pyaro, and if we say aukhi kadi na dekhan dei, ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਮਾਨ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, we're saying to our Guru with so much confidence that you don't ever show me a time of pain. ਔਖੀ ਘੜੀ ਨਾ ਦੇਖਣ ਦੇਈ, ਆਪਣਾ ਬਿਰਦ ਸੰਭਾਲੇ, ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰ ਦਾ ਬਿਰਦ ਆ. Because that is the nature of our Guru. He doesn't show us a hard time. What does it mean? Our Guru gives us strength to be able to endure that time when it comes to us in our life. That's what Sikhi gives us. That's what it gives when we walk upon this path, Gursikh Pyaro. Coming back on the Visha, Bhagat Kabir ji ne main kehna kita, even Bhagat Kabir ji said, Kabir kehne manas janam dulamb hai hoye na bare bar. They said that this life is so difficult to obtain. There's only few that recognize that, Gursikh Pyaro. To understand this a little bit better, let us go and look into our history. Let us look into our itihas. That we don't always appreciate this human form of life. Gursikh Pyaro, Bhai Mardana ji, Guru Nanak Dev ji, Sache Paatshah ji, jangla vich baithe ne, ujaad ne. They're sitting in these jungles, Guru Nanak Dev ji, Bhai Mardana ji, and Bhai Mardana ji starts to ask Guru Nanak Dev ji Paatshah ji a question. Bhai Mardana ji ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ, hey Guru Nanak Dev ji Paatshah, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ, you say that Waheguru ji is in everything. Waheguru ji is absorbed in everything. That jal thal mahiyal bharpur leena घट घट जोत तुम्हारी, Guru Nanak Dev ji Paatshah ji's bani. Guru Nanak Dev ji Paatshah ji, Bhai Mardana ji saying, you say that jal thal, that Waheguru ji is in the water, Waheguru ji is in the earth, jal thal mahiyal, Waheguru ji is in the space mahiyal, jal thal mahiyal purya. He's absorbed everywhere. But oh Guru Nanak Dev ji Paatshah ji, why can't I see Waheguru ji there? You say Waheguru ji is everywhere. I try. Bhai Mardana ji saying, I try and look very hard, but I can't see Waheguru ji. What is it then? Why can't I see Waheguru ji? You tell me to jap naam. I do try. We walk around and I try and see God, but I can't see God everywhere. Oh Guru Nanak Paatshah, tell me, what do I do? Guru Nanak Dev ji Paatshah ji smiled. What a beautiful question to ask Gursikh Pyaro. We come to the Gurdwara very often. We come, some of us may come every week, every Sunday. But how many of us have asked this question to our Guru? How many of us has approached the Granthi Sahib? How many of us have actually approached somebody within the Gurdwara Sahib and said, tell me what my Guru says, I want to be able to experience God. I want to be able to connect to my Guru. I want this true happiness that my Guru talks about. Do we ask my Guru for these things? Do we come and say to my Guru, I want to see God? Mainu Rabana Milade. Or what do we normally ask for when we come to the Guru's house? We normally say, Ke mainu dukh hai, that I've got pain. Mainu saririk koi rog hai. Saririk rog meaning that I've got some form of bodily pain, I've got some sort of bamari, I'm ill in some form of way, take that away from me. Somebody will say, that make my bank balance bigger. Koi kehda ke mera bank balance vadda ho jave. Koi kehda mainu gaddiyan mil jan, mainu karan mil jan. Somebody saying, I want to be able to obtain a better car. I haven't got a car at the moment. Somebody saying, koi keh raha hai Gursikh pyareo ke he gareeb nawaz, he sache paatshah, he Satguru ji, mainu tusi ghar baar vadda bakhsh do. The house I've got at the moment isn't big enough. I want a bigger house. Some people come to the Guru's charan and ask for these things. Some people come to the Guru's charan and say, Oh Guru Sahib ji, please make sure I pass my exams. Parents are asking for their children. Mere bachchiyan de exams vich sone result on. These people, these aam karke ehe kuch mangya janda Satguru ji paasson. Aaj hukamnama bhi Paatshah ji ne bakshiya. Even the hukamnama that came today, Gursikh Pyareo, was jo mange thakar apne te. Soi soi deve. And Gursikh Pyareo, you know, when Satguru ji Paatshah ji blesses us with this hukamnama, we get happy. Apa khosh ho jane hai na? Kyun khosh hunne? Why do we get happy? Because we think, you know, that what I was thinking about now, I was thinking that I want my children to get a good education. I was thinking that I want a good partner in my life. And now, because Satguru ji has given that hukamnama, jo mange, that I've come here, I've asked for these things, jo mange, Thakur apne te sui sui deve. He's going to give it to me now. Because Paatshah ji gave us that hukamnama today. Sometimes we think if we get the Ragis to sing this Shabad, then what I've asked for when I've come to the Guru's Charan, I'm going to get all of these things. But we need to look at this Shabad a little bit closer. Because we love to tell the Ragis to sing this Shabad when it's somebody's birthday or somebody's program when we come to the Gurdwara. But we need to look at this a little bit more carefully. Jo mange Thakur apne te. The key word here is apne. Apne means your own. When you ask for something from your Guru, but first of all there's a condition that you make the Guru yours. Pehla Guru no apna banauna pauga Gursikh Pyareo. Har jan rakhe Gur Govind. It's the hukamnama today Guru Sahib ji blessed us with. So we should definitely listen to this carefully, because this is the message our Guru gave us today. Har jan rakhe Gur Govind. That Sache Paatshah ji is saying here to us that Har jan rakhe, that he looks after his jans, his servants, his humble servants. Har jan rakhe Gur Govind. Our Guru, he looks after the servants of Vaheguru ji. So first, before we think that everything we've asked for, all the gifts we've asked for, before they're going to be given to us, what do we need to do? First, we need to become the Gurus. Pehla ਆਪਾਂ Guru ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਬਣਾਉਂਗੇ ਨਾ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਸੋਚੀਏ. We think about something on a worldly term. ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਤੇ ਪੈਸਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਪੈ ਜਾਵੇ, ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਸੋਚੀਏ within our life, if we think about now our lives and we ever need some money, if we need to borrow some money of someone. ਹੁਣ ਇਦਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ ਕਦੀ ਹੋਇਆ. If we need to borrow, say, let's see, ਕਹਿ ਲਓ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ 10,000 ਪਾਉਂਡ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ. Say if we need 10,000 pound, we want to put a deposit on a house. We can't get that much mortgage and we haven't got that much deposit. Do we ever just walk down the street and randomly knock on somebody's door that we don't know, we've never seen before? ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਡੋਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਦਰਵਾਜ਼ਾ ਖੜਕਾਈਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ 10,000 ਪਾਉਂਡ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ? ਨਹੀਂ, ਇਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ. We don't ever walk, we don't ever knock the door of a stranger and say, give me 10,000 pound. We've got no relationship with them. They don't know us. They don't trust us. On what basis are they going to give us that money? Gursikh Pyareo, ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੋਲ ਵੀ ਮੰਗਣਾ ਨਾ ਆ ਕੇ, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਬਣਾਈਏ. First of all, Gursikh Pyareo, we've got to make a relationship, we've got to make a link with our Guru first before we ask for things from our Guru. Because aam karke, if you think about it, another worldly example here now. If you think about if you've got a friend And karke sometimes in our mind kei wari apne man vich ਇਹ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਆਉਗੀ ਨਾ that I come to the Gurdwara every week, so I've got that right over Guru Granth Sahib Ji Padshah. So we might feel that. So think about this now. If we've got a friend in life, Guru Sikh Pyaro, but the only time we phone that friend is when we need something. And then about the 5th time, the 6th time, and the other person, the friend's thinking, he's never phoned me to ask if I'm okay. Kadi vi nahi mainu puchhiya. Whenever he needs something, whenever she needs something, that's when you pick up the phone and ask me. Never otherwise have they contacted me. How comes they only phone me when they need something from me? And Guru Sikh Pyaro, sometimes we do the same with our Guru as well. We only come to the Guru when we need something on a worldly term. But have we ever tried to make a link with our Guru? How do we make a link with our Guru? Jo Gur kahe soi pal mano, har har katha niral. Jo Gur kahe, that whatever our Guru says, Jo Gur kahe soi pal mano, unu pala karke manna. Know that to be good. That whatever my Guru is asking for me to do, Guru Sikh Pyaro, ohi palaya. Okay, let's look at one thing now. Bhagat Kabir ji will say to us, Kabir sakat sang na kijiye, dur hai jaiye paag, basan karo parsiye, tau kach lage daag. Bhagat Kabir ji कहने के कहते Kabir, listen to this careful, Guru Sikh Pyaro. Bhagat Kabir ji saying, you know, if we want sukh in our life, then we need to listen to what our Guru's got to say to us as well. If we want to keep asking for things from our Guru and thinking, how comes I'm not getting that happiness that I want? Because sometimes we get what we ask for, but there's still no contentment. Because we're asking for the wrong thing. First of all, we need to say, Doe kar jor, karo ardas, tod pave, ta aane ras. We need to say to our Guru, oh Sache Pacha Ji, I'm about to ask for something. I'm going to put my hands together in front of you. Doe kar jor, karo ardas. I'm going to do an ardas. I'm going to ask for something, but Tud pave ta aane ras, only if it pleases you, only then give that to me. Because Guru Sikh Pyaro, it could turn out like this. Jira apna Guru ana, tu prabh data daan mat pura, hum thare pikhari jiyo. Tu prabh data daan mat pura, hum thare pikhari jiyo. Tu prabh data, oh my Guru Sahib Ji, tu prabh data. You are such a data, such a giver. Tu prabh data, what type of giver are you? Tu prabh data, daan mat pura. Whatever gifts you give us, daan, whatever gifts you give us, daan mat pura. You give with your perfect intellect. Daan mat pura. Karke sadi Guru di mat puriya is perfect. And sometimes we think, I asked, but I didn't get. And we think, why? Because my Guru knows what is best for their children. Because oda jiri matya puriya. But then sometimes the Guru will give us, and then we'll have to learn from a mistake that it wasn't good for us. Let's use an example. समझ लो गुरसिख प्यारो किते बच्चा अपने माँ पे दे नाल चल गया सर्कस देखने. Now as an example, imagine a child goes with their parents to the circus, Gursikh Pyaro, and then the child sees these beautiful animals running around in the circus. The bachcha magar pੈ jawe, and then the child saying, Mum, ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਥੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ. ਮਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਤੂੰ ਕਮਲਾਇਆ ਹਾਥੀ ਥੋੜਾ ਘਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. And the mother saying, what, are you crazy? You can't take the elephant home. And mum, if I can't take this elephant home, then I want you to buy me an elephant. ਫਿਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਖਰੀਦ ਕੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਹਾਥੀ. ਮਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੁੱਤ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦਾ. And the mother's trying to explain to that child, no ਪੁੱਤ, you don't understand, you can't have an elephant. ਹੁਣ ਉਹਦੀ ਮੱਤ ਥੋੜੋ ਪੂਰੀ ਆ. That child, the child's intellect isn't perfect and complete. But the child will sometimes just see something because everybody else has got something sometimes. The child sees something and think, oh wow, that's so beautiful. We're like that child as well sometimes in life. We'll sometimes think, I should get this result in my exam. I need to be doing this job. But our Guru knows sometimes what's best. Not sometimes, maaf karna, our Guru knows always what's best. तू प्रभदाता दान मत पूरा हम थारे भिखारी जियो अपने पातशाह जी नूं हर समय पता मैं क्या मांगो किच थिर ना रहाई हर दीजे नाम प्यारी जियो. Gursikh प्यारियो, but there's only one thing that we should ask for from our Guru and say, Sache Paatshah ji, menu naam di daat baksho. Give me that gift of naam. Coming back, Bhai Mardana ji saying, oh Guru Nanak Patsha ji, I try and look everywhere. I can't see Waheguru ji. And then Guru Nanak Dev ji Patsha ji smiles and says, what a beautiful question to ask. If we start to ask these type of questions to the Gurmukhs around us, and then Guru Nanak Dev ji Patsha says, keep trying, keep japping Naam. Mardana ji is like, oh, I don't know, man. I've tried loads. Guru Nanak Dev ji Patsha said, you know, Bhai Mardana, you're saying that you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to churn out Waheguru ji. Rasna Naam Japaho Tab Mathiye. But even though Guru Granth Sahib Ji Patsha Ji Bani is saying to us that Rasna Naam, that Jap Naam, recite God's name with his tongue, Rasna Naam Japaho Tab Mathiye. Mathiye means to churn. When you're churning something out of milk, Rasna Naam Japaho Tab Mathiye in Bid Amrit Pavaho. Then you'll realize, then you'll get that Amrit from inside. You'll be able to churn out and start to experience Waheguru ji. Bhai Mardana ji said, oh, I don't know. Guru Nanak Dev ji Patsha ji कहने लगे, कहने Mardana, you know when I sing? कहने Mardana, you know when I sing, can you get anybody from the village? Will they know exactly what rag to start playing on the rabab? Mardana ji is like, no, of course not, Maharaj. They just won't know. Then Guru Nanak Patsha, then why is it that if I start singing in Ramkali, if I start singing in Siri Rag, whatever rag I start to sing in, if I sing in Ramkali, you start playing the rag of Ramkali. You don't even ask me, oh Baba Nanak, what rag is that? What tune is that? You just know, don't you? And he said, yes, Maharaj. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, how do you know? Mardana Ji is like, with a lot of practice, Maharaj. And now it's just become natural. I just know from inside. I've got that connection with that rag. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, but how do you know what strings to touch? Whenever you sing, oh Bhai Mardana, you sing so beautifully, you're in so much tune, but you know exactly what string to touch to match your voice. How do you do that? Look how many places of the string you could touch, but you touch the exact right place as soon as your voice comes out. How do you know that, Mardana? He's like, I don't know, Maharaj, it just comes to me from inside. From young, we've been practicing, and then it just comes natural. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Patsha said, did you use some sort of a measuring stick or something to be able to work out that rag, where to touch the rabab? He was laughing. He goes, no, Maharaj, because I didn't use no measuring stick to see where I need to touch the rabab. Maharaj, it just comes to me naturally. He goes, it's just that gift. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Patsha said, you sang and sang and sang, it came to you. Oh, Bhai Mardana, just like this, don't give up on Naam, it's so powerful. Don't ever doubt Naam. Recite God's name, call upon God with so much love that you will start to experience and feel God inside of you. And then Mardana Ji is like, but I want you to ask more Mardana, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji is like, go to sleep. Tu so ja. We'll talk, I'll show you in the morning something. I'll show you something in the morning. Bhai Mardana Ji, alright, I'll wait for the morning. So they've got up and they walk. And as they're walking into this village, Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Bhai Mardana Ji, Gursikh Pyareo, ek Jauri de dukaan te na Gursikh Pyareo, in the shop of a jeweler, Jino Park Sigi, that who knew he could look at a diamond straight away and tell if it's a true diamond or a false diamond. In this shop sits a Jauri, sits somebody that could recognize diamonds. Gursikh Pyareo, he sat in his shop and he sat with his worker Bhai Adraka. They're sitting together. A very similar conversation takes place now. Bhai Adraka is saying, oh Salsarai Jauri, oh my master, will I ever be able to look at a diamond and just know if it's true or false? How are you able to tell if it's a pure diamond? You just look at it. And Bhai Salsarai Jauri कहने लगा Adrake no, कहने Adraka, there's no set instructions for this. There's nothing set in stone for this. It's just your vision, your eye. Your vision has to be so fine that you're able to look so deep into this diamond that one day with practice, the more and more you do it, your eye, that vision will open from inside and you'll just be able to look at it and be able to tell. And Adraka saying, isn't there anything you can say? How? Teach me? And he's saying, just keep looking. Just keep watching. And just keep looking into that diamond, and one day it will come to you from inside. You'll be able to recognize that diamond if it's true or false, of how much qeemat it has, how much value it has. As they are talking, one of the workers from the shop downstairs come running upstairs. He says, "Koi aaya gaak." He said, "There's a customer outside." Bhai Adraka and Sal Sarai Jori, they come downstairs. Eho manas janam to lamba hai. Gursikh Pyareo, this form of life is so difficult to obtain. It's so precious, Gursikh Pyareo. But when they came downstairs, Bhai Sal Sarai Jori, he looks at Bhai Mardana ji, and he's saying, "Oh, Bhai Mardana." He said towards Bhai Mardana, he goes, "Where have you come from?" He goes, "I've come from that place where the 5 rivers flow. Punjab, from Punjab." He said, "What have you got for me today?" He got his little box out. He opens this box and there's this ray of light that comes from this box, fills the whole room with light. And he says, "I've got this red little stone thing. I don't know what it is." And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Padshah Ji had given him this stone, Gursikh Pyareo, a red stone. Lal patthar. Kenda lal ja patthar ya, kenda pata nahi ki aa ditta si mere malik ne. Gursikh Pyareo, uthe na Sal Sarai Jori ne haath jod ke, Sal Sarai Jori, the jeweler, he puts his hands together, he takes a step back and he goes, "Tan, tan." He goes, "I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed." He goes, "My ustads, the ustads, my teachers that I used to learn with, they used to tell me about such rare diamonds. They said, if you ever come across something like this, you're going to be so privileged. You're going to be so blessed to be able to see a stone like this in your life." And Sal Sarai Jori says, "Oh, wow." He puts his hands together. He says, "Adraka, ja, quick, go and get 100 rupees, 100 rupiah leke aa." Uthe 100 rupiah ditta. As he puts the 100 rupiah, he puts the 100 rupees. 100 rupees, Gursikh Pyareo, 500 years ago. Imagine the value of 100 rupees in them days. Hiyaran dai barabar. Equivalent to thousands of today, Gursikh Pyareo. He's put that down. And there Bhai Mardana ji is about to give him the stone, and he's put his hand, he goes, "No. Your darshan peta." He goes, "This is just to be able to have darshan, to have vision of this. Because I didn't ever think I'm going to be privileged enough to actually see one of these in my life." Bhai Mardana ji is like, "Are you crazy? You're not going to take the stone, you're giving me 100 rupees. He goes, "Do you know what I've just been through today?" He goes, "When I first looked at this stone," he goes, "I thought that Guru Nanak played a joke with me." Because मैं समझा कि पता नहीं मैंने मखौल किया गुरु नानक ने कहा कि पत्थर जाके बेच के आ. Because मैनू लगी सी भुख, I was hungry. So Guru Nanak said, "You'll get something in return of this." Even I thought he's playing a joke on me. He goes, "So you know where I went?" मैं राशन दी दुकान ते गया पहला. I went to a vegetable shop first, and I gave them. They looked at the stone. They says, "Oh." They were about to throw it to their kids and say, "Oh, kids, you can play with this." As you're about to throw it to the kids, he goes, "Here you go, take a mulli." The Danaji goes, "This is my guru's given me this. Give me 2 mulli at least." He goes, "Not just one." And he's like, No, I ain't giving you 2. He goes, "Give me my stone back then." Takes his stone. He goes, "Wait, because I might be back." So he goes to the next shop. Oh, दूसरी दुकान ते जदों गया ना Gursikh Pyareo, he's gone to the next shop. And ਹੁਣ चल गया आ कपड़ियां दी दुकान ते. Uthe, when they've looked at that stone, they thought we could use it maybe to put it on top of the clothes from going everywhere from the wind. We'll give you 2 yards of coarse kapda, which is very thick material, very cheap thick material. And he's like, 2 yards of that material. He's like, "Give me 3 then." And they're like, no, take 2. And he's like, "All right, I might be back." Because he's thinking, all right, that's worth more than the mulli. So you never know. If I sell that, I'll get some food. So then he's gone to Mathiai di dukaan. Then he's gone to a really nice, rich, sweet shop. Mathiai di dukaan te, jithe like they make really expensive mathiaiyan. He's gone there. He says to them, he goes, "What will you give me for this stone?" They've looked and they said, just under 2 kilos of mathiai of sweet they've put. So Gursikh Pyareo, just under 2 kilos of sweets they've put in this box. And they said to Bhai Mardana ji, "Take this." And he thought the value is going up from 1 mulli to 2 yards of cheap material to nearly 2 kilos of expensive sweets. He was like, wait there, I might be back. Right? So he's gone now. And then he's thinking, let me try out some goldsmiths. He's gone to a few hattiyan. They used to have like little stalls of gold. They're all willing to give him little pieces of gold in return. Every shop he'll go, they're willing to give him a bit more. I was thinking, let me go to a diamond dealer. And he goes, Salsarai, that's how I've ended up over here. He goes, the qeemat kept increasing. And Salsarai Jawhari says, well, your master, he is a great jeweler. He's the master of all traders to have this type of stone. You know what he's done with you? He knew this is precious. He's just giving you this to go and test people like me, to see if I know my job properly. And then he's probably going to come over here and then see who's the best jeweler. Bhai Mardana ji said, I don't know about that. He goes, why would we leave home for all those months, go hungry, sleep in the jungles, if he was such a great jeweler? He goes, I don't know about that. Alright, and he thinks, you know what? He goes, another thing. If you send me back now with the stone and the money, I'm going to get in trouble. And because then the other thing, because all I want is some food. He goes, I'm starving. Because I just want a bit of food. Salsarai Jawhari says, look, take it back. If he says no, then bring it back. He goes, this is a mull. This is a mull. It's priceless. He goes, but if he still doesn't agree, then we'll try and work something out. But first of all, go. He says, but what about the food? Salsarai Jawhari is like, Adraka, come here. Heat up some milk. Tu dodh garm kar. Heat up some milk so his master's happy as well, his guru's happy as well. Heats up some milk, get some food ready. He goes, tu bhi ja naal. And Guru Sikh Pyaro, first Mardana ji gets there. Bhai Mardana ji is like, he's like, we've hit the lottery, Maharaj. We've done it. I've got the stone and the money. You're going to be well proud of me. He's put the stone there, he's put the money there. Maharaj is laughing. Maharaj ji goes, what happened? Bhai Mardana ji said, what a strange day it's been, oh Maharaj. I went to many shops. Somebody was going to give me a mulli, and then 2 yards of really kind of cheap material, and then Maharaj, and then nearly 2 kilos of sweet, and then some gold, and then the one guy saying, take the money, but I don't even want the stone. What is all of this? Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha ji laughed. Listen, Mardaneya, jatu aakhe na, that person that's got the eye. Bulle Shah ne bhi aakhe na. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਰੱਬ ਤੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਸ ਤੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੇਖਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਅੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਾਬਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਬੁੱਲੇ ਸ਼ਾਹ a poet used to say ਰੱਬ ਤੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ the Rabb Waheguru ji isn't separate from you, God isn't separate from you, God isn't away from you, ਰੱਬ ਤੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਸ ਤੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੇਖਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਅੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ, you just haven't got that eye to be able to see God. Baba Nanak Singh ji used to say, they said the people of the world, they might see just paper and ink in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, they said, but ask me, I see the eyes of Guru Nanak in each word of Guru Granth Sahib Ji's Bani. Guru Sikh Pyaro Bhai Mardana Ji is looking at Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha kende, Mardaneya, life is like this. People that haven't got no vision at all, they don't value this life at all. They're selling it equivalent to mulliyan. People that haven't got inner wisdom at all, their inner self is completely closed off. They see this life so small. They have no value. They're ruining it like this. Ruining it how? Bhai Mardana ji said. They said, what? I want to know what the mulli represented. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha ji said, they said, you know what the mulli represented? They said, some people think they've come into this world just to work, make some money, and that's it. Reach, get a status. You've got a nice car, nice house. You can show your relatives, show everyone off. We've made it. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha said, they said, some people think that's what life is all about. They said, you know how cheap they think life is? If they think that's all life is about, as much as that, getting one mulli for this stone. And he's all excited. He's like, wow, all right, Maharaj, this sounds cool. Because Maharaj, then what about the kapde? What about the guy that was going to give me that 2 yards of clothes? What did that represent? What did that signify? Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha said, they said, some people think that life is all about pleasure. Coming here and wearing fancy dresses, wearing these beautiful clothes, what the world think is beautiful. Having a competition, not being able to come out the house until you're looking all bling bling. wearing draped in gold, wearing the right suit because now I have to look like everybody else. I have to come to the Gurda dressed in a particular way because otherwise what are people going to think about me? I need to go to these parties dressed and looking in a certain way. I have to wear designer clothes. It can't be anything but, because otherwise everyone else is going to laugh at me. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachi says some people think that's what life is all about, but they forget that our Gurbani says in Sri Rag, it says, Baba hor panan khushi khwar jit pande tan peediye man meh challe vikar. Kende Baba hor panan khushi khwar. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachi saying, of course you need clothes to wear. You need clothes to wear just for that logical purpose, Guru Sikh Pyaro, to protect yourself from the weather, whether it be the heat, whether it be the cold, to protect your honor, to wear modest clothes, Guru Sikh Pyaro. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, if you go overboard, if you're wearing hor, Baba hor panan, hor meaning if you go over the top, if you dress more than just the logical purpose of why we need to dress, of protecting ourselves from the weather and protecting our honor, dressing modestly, they said if you think then, if you're going to buy clothes that you can't even afford and you're going to put your bank balance in that pressure, you're going to start going into overdraft, you can't even afford them clothes, you're pressuring your parents, I have to have those trainers, otherwise my friends are going to laugh at me. But now Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, Baba hor panan, if you're going to wear dresses, Guru Sikh Pyaro, we're supposed to wear dress, they're supposed to be comfortable so we can sit in a Gurdwara, not so that when we come and do Matha Tek, that our whole back is covered, then we feel embarrassed to even do Matha Tek. Why wear those type of clothes in the first place? There's some people, we were supposed to wear clothes just for the logical reason from getting from one place to the other place. Some people, they'll wear such high heels, Guru Sikh Pyaro, they find it so difficult to walk in them. And then their ankles all ripped and teared apart as well. What was the point of that? Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, Baba hor panan khushi khwar. This is what, if you're wearing and dressing out of pleasure, khushi, what's going to happen next? Gurbani so beautifully explains everything. Baba hor panan khushi khwar. Khwar means kharab. This says you're going to then pay for it. Kande kharab honge for tusi. Kharab is you're going to be ruined. There's going to be consequences from that as well. Because some people think, well, that person shouldn't be looking at me like that in a dirty way. But have we helped ourselves? Have we tried to do our best first? Have we even dressed modestly so it takes down? So the chances of that other person, the other gender looking at us, have we brought that down somehow ourselves? Or are we dressed in a particular way, but then we're moaning, why are they looking at me? Guru Nanak Dev Ji has already told us, Baba hor panan khushi khwar. If you're going to dress out of pleasure, फिर तुसी खराब होंगे. Jit pande tan peediye, jit pande, by wearing jit pande tan peediye manve chale vikar, you're going to get negative thoughts in your own mind and you're going to create negative thoughts in other people's mind. You've just been the cause of creating that negative thought in somebody's mind. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachi is saying, don't blame them. Dadde dos na diyo kise dos karma apne aap. Jo main kiya, so main paya. Dos na dije avr jana. What I have done, whatever is happening to me, I have caused it, I have brought it upon myself. And Guru Sikh Pyaro, Bhai Mardana ji saying, oh wow, all of that this means? So what about then the next? What about the mithai? What about that sweet shop? These beautiful foods. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, Bhai Mardana, some people think they're just here for the luxuries and the pleasure of eating these beautiful delicacies. We're supposed to eat for what reason? I've got to put my hands up as well. I'm not the best of healthy of eaters as well. This is something I need to ardas for and work on as well. Yesterday, I went to a camp. First I had a roti and dal, and then I couldn't help myself. Then I said, alright, then I'll have that slice of pizza as well. Guru Sikh Pyaro, then Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, people are here just to have nice delicacies. They think it's all about food. And people have made it to such an extent, you can go to certain restaurants. You can go to certain restaurants in the world. Guru Sikh Pyaro, you go to Dubai, you go to the Burj, and you know the restaurant that's made under the water, where you can see the sea surrounding you, it's about £100 a head. And look what people have made food into. When what was food for? Food was to nourish our body. But we're eating those types of foods that are actually killing our body. Baba hor khana khushi khwar jit khade tan peediye man mein chale vikar. Baba hor khana. If you eat extra, if you eat more than you need to, If you eat certain foods that ain't going to fit right for us, what's going to happen? Baba, hor khana. Hor means more than you need. Khushi, out of pleasure. Khwar, kende kharab honge fir tusi. He says, you're going to have to pay for it. And Gursikh Pera, I know myself. I lived such a life in my past, going back about 6-7 years ago. I lived a life of luxury, just in and out of expensive restaurants all the time. I was very overweight. And then you have consequences as well, Gursikh Pera. And then your health then takes it on your health. So khair Gursikh Pera, and then Guru Nanak Dev Ji kehne par koi virla ya Salsarai Jori varga. They said, but there are those very few people like Salsarai Jori that is able to see that diamond is priceless. There is those very few in this life that realize this life is priceless. Heere jaisa janam hai, kaudi badle jaye. This life is like a diamond, like a precious stone. Heere jaisa janam hai, kaudi badle jaye. But sometimes we're selling it just worth shells for nothing, no qimat. We're wasting it and not connecting to our source from Rab, from where we have come from. Ran gavahi soe ke, divs gavaya khaye. Ran gavahi soe ke. Guru Pacha saying some people are just wasting this life by sleeping at night. And we're thinking, shouldn't be sleeping at night? I sleep at night. So what does Pacha ji mean when they're saying ran? Ran means night. Gavaye soe ke. That you've just lost out. You've just wasted your whole night by sleeping. They don't mean the whole night. They're talking about that fourth part of the night. Chautha pair rata, they're talking about Amrita Vela. Farida, Bhagavad Freeji's Bani as well. The same Bhagavad Freeji says in the Bani, this says, you know, at that time of the night, this says Waheguru Ji is giving out us abundance of that opportunity to connect with Waheguru Ji. This is what's the point of you being asleep? They said, Jote sutte raat laga diti. You know, what's the most precious thing that we can give? You know, Siddha ne sawal puche se na Guru Nanak Dev Ji nu. A group of people that asked Guru Nanak Dev Ji a question. This is, oh Guru Nanak Patsha. They said, if you say that everything belongs to God, then what is it that we can give to God to please God? Is there anything we can give? They asked a question. This says, Fir ke agge rakhiye. This is what can we place in front of God. Say, here you go. I want to be able to experience and see you, oh God. And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji reply. What did they say? This is Fir ke agge rakhiye. This is the question. Fir ke agge rakhiye. Jit dise darbar. Then this is Muho ke bolan boliye. What words can I speak with this mouth? Moho ke. Which words? Moho ke bolan boliye. Jit sun, that God will listen. Jit sun tare pyar, and He will be filled with love for me. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, you know what? Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, the only one thing you can give back in return to God is the most sweetest thing to you in your life. And that's that sleep in the morning. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, Amrit vela sach nao. Vadiyai vichar, can they Amrit Vela Sach now? Can they give up that moment, that time in the morning that is so sweet, that sleep is so sweet to us in the morning, isn't it? Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, that's all you can give in return to God. This says Amrit Vela Sach now, connect to the truth. Who is the truth? Waheguru Ji is the ultimate truth. What do we mean by the ultimate truth? Waheguru Ji is the only one being that is always going to remain, is permanent. Amrita Vela Sach. Now what are we going to do in the morning? Vadiyai vichar, we're going to contemplate on the greatness of Waheguru Ji. So Gursikh Pyareo, coming to the end now. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, there's those very few that are able to recognize how precious this life is, just like Salsarai Jori was able to look at that diamond. Gursikh Pyareo, don't let this life just pass by doing all these things that we've just gone through. This life has been given to connect back to our source, to God. Take very realistic small steps. You don't have to jump and try and do anything crazy. It doesn't mean you try and wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. If you wake up at 6, wake up at 5:30. If you wake up at 7, wake up at 5:30. Be realistic. Set yourself some goals. If you think, all right, I'm struggling to keep my case, then what's the first thing we can do is an ardas. Say, Guruji, give me strength to keep my case. I've been saying this in every dwan that we've been going to. At which point have you got the right to call yourself a Sikh? Some people, we asked this question to kids yesterday in Huddersfield. We was at a camp. And the kids, they returned and they said, some people said, if you're born in a Sikh family. Some people said, if you've taken Amrit. Some said, if you're following, you're doing everything Guruji says. But these Sikhani, the Sikhs asked the same question to Guru Sahib Ji as well. They said, oh Guru Ramdas Ji Patsha Ji. They said, who can call themselves a Sikh? And then Guru Ramdas Ji says, Gur Satgur ka jo Sikh akhaye, so palke ut har naam te aave. He doesn't finish at that pankti though. They said, who wakes up early in the morning and meditates on God's name? So does that mean that if you don't, you can't call yourself a Sikh? Guru Ramdas Ji gives us the key word in the next pankti. This says, Uddam kare, palke prapati, ishnan kare amritsar nav. They said that person that is making an effort to wake up. That person that is making an effort to keep their gaze. That person that is making an effort to learn Gurmukhi. That person that is making an effort to give up alcohol. Then yes, you can say, I am trying to become a Sikh. Because Guru Ramdas Ji said, if you're making the effort, but if we've got no intention, if we've got no intention to keep our gaze, and then we've got no intention to wake up in the morning and read Gurbani, then we've got to ask ourselves a question, should I be calling myself a Sikh? Again, Pacha Ji says in Gurbani, Man mehe chittavo chittvani, uddam karo utneet. Uddam kare utneet. Man mehe, you've got to have in your mind at least in your mind, you've got to have man mehe chittavo. You've got to be thinking chintan. You've got to be thinking in your mind at least, I want to try and get up in the morning a little bit earlier so I've got that opportunity to read Bani and Jap Naam. Man mein chitva chitvani uddam karo ut neet, not just one day, not just on Sundays. Ut neet every day. You're going to be making an effort. So what effort are we making? Are we even putting on an alarm on? Or if we are, do we just put it on snooze and then think, oh, it's alright? If that doesn't work for us, how about putting it a bit of a distance away so we don't have to get out of bed to turn it off? Try things, make an effort. Then we can at least say, I'm trying to become a Sikh. Because Guru Ramdas Ji said, then it's okay. Then you can say yes. So Guru Sikh Pyareo, don't let this life just pass. Realize how great, it's a precious, precious gem. It's priceless, this life is. We don't know what we're going to end up becoming in our next lives. And then we might regret it. That if we antakal jo Lakshmi simre, aisi chinta meh jo mare, that sarp joon wal wal otare, that if we've thought about money our whole life and we go with the desire of money and wanting more, accumulating more money, Guru Sahib Ji says, then you'll have to become a snake in your next life and then try and come to the Gurdwara and then say, I want to read Gurbani. You can try and tell people as well, I was a Sikh. Nobody's going to be able to hear you. We shouldn't ever forget. We should try and realize how great this opportunity is. So Guru Sikh Pyareo, ek nahi, par aneka hi galtiyan ho giyan, I must have made many mistakes. Please forgive me. Apna bacha samjh ke, ਭਰਾ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਜਿਤਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਗਲਤੀਆਂ ਬਣਾਈਆਂ ਹਨ। ਬੁਲਾਈਏ ਫਤਿਹ ਆਖੋ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Vaheguru